archaeology. Get out of there, Dan!
It's probably me.
Oh, there's two of us watching now.
Hopefully Jill comes back.
She won't. She's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you know what even though it's completely...
Jill joined. There you go. Thanks for finding us again, Jill. Sorry about that.
True. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to Call This Archaeology. Oh, that's a new interface, isn't it? Am I wrong?
No, this is the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Chris is sharing stuff out. You know what's crazy about Facebook Live streaming? It's Chromecast compatible. This morning I was watching a live stream of the Beta Breakers from Facebook. Yeah? So if you have a Chromecast, you should be able to hit the Chromecast icon in the top right.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
And I still want another one, but I'm probably not going to need one.
Yeah. And Lisa is on. She says she sees us. Hopefully you guys can hear us as well. So it sounds good on my side. That's why I'm wearing the headphones. I'm monitoring the thing here.
Oh my god, I haven't worked with Lisa since Minnesota.
Nice. So I know I have something I definitely want to bring up and get your opinion on. You want me to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, so we recorded an episode, and I'm in the process of. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, before you start that, I finally have my new external hard drive for the little Surface Pro.
Oh, nice.
So I can start, at least if I can't upload videos, I can at least make them.
There you go. So we can get the high quality version based on your YouTube channel.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You call this Happy Archaeology Fun Time.
There you go.
The problem is, if you can't download, then obviously the upload speed is going to be crap.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah. Although sometimes not really, because upload usually defaults to around 5 or less megabits per second, and not a lot of people are actually uploading at hotels and things.
The one I'm at, they will be.
Well, what are they uploading though?
They're uploading photos to the server.
But that doesn't take very long.
You say that, but the other day...
I'm just saying.
The other day it took them 2 days.
Well, that's an issue. Yeah. Anyway, so Jill says she's sitting in her backyard grilling steaks and firing pots in her kiln. That sounds amazing.
Ooh,
yeah,
I'm going to be grilling later today.
Nice, nice. So anyway, we just recorded an episode of the Crm Archaeology Podcast. I can't say when this one will be out because we have a few other recordings coming up, and we might be throwing this one in the can, as we say, and just dropping it when we need to, because it's nice to have, as all you Crm archaeologists know, it's nice to have one in the hopper when I have no host because they're all doing field work. So,
which is soon.
Which is, I mean, everybody's got stuff to do, so at some point the stars are going to align when not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. So we'll put it in the can. But it basically, it was a conversation that started one thing and ended up being something else.
Oh.
And the something else was basically, it was basically talking about quality of life for field crews and field technicians in particular.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys on the show being a little bit pro. I don't want to put words in their mouth, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to paraphrase a little bit. Being a little bit pro project management and less field tech. That's not to say that they were not concerned with field techs and the way field techs do things.
Yeah.
But they were more concerned with getting the project done on time and under budget, obviously, because that's what that person's job is.
Yeah.
But my whole point was, if you focus on keeping field techs happy and making sure that they have a high quality of life, then you'll achieve the efficiency problem better. Because if you're working for an employer, and Richie, you're working, now, we're not calling anybody out, but you're working for people right now. You've worked for people in the past.
Yeah.
If your current employer, and I'm saying if, I'm not saying is, for anybody that's listening that knows who he's working for. If your current employer were a bunch of douchebags, and they were like, you are a jerk, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and dictating everything that you do, how likely would you be to really bust your ass out in the field and be efficient?
I'd be looking for a new job.
You'd be looking for a new job. But if your employer was like really looking out for your best interests, or at least not trying to hamper your ability to be a human, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to be proactive. They just shouldn't be proactive in the wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
So if their concern is making sure you are, happy and healthy and getting what you want, then you're more likely to be a better employee.
Well, I mean, let's go to a company that is no longer around and someone who hopefully I never have to work for again. Mm-hmm. You and I both work for this person in this office.
Yeah.
Like, if you literally took, like, a day off, like, say your mom died.
Right.
That was, like, such a sign of disrespect and loyalty. You were never going to work for that company ever again. Like, literally, they took everything personally.
Right.
Whereas, earlier we were talking about the fact that I have a new perspective because I have worked for regular companies.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't show up on time, if you just don't if you're just not there, then you get fired. Whereas I feel like in CRM archaeology, it's so far and few between that you work regular jobs that people literally, instead of treating you like a regular employee, they come up with these weird ways of doing things. Like you're saying, because I know we were talking about this earlier, and you haven't mentioned it yet, but they were like, what if this person doesn't show up here? What if the person doesn't show up there? What if they don't show up on time? Well, it's like, then fire them.
Yeah, get rid of them. That was kind of the crux of my argument. A lot of the policies that companies have regarding how you get into the field, which is what we'll talk about next, regarding drive time and things like that, down to double occupancy hotel rooms, or at least buying your hotel in to begin with, to me, is irresponsible. Like, just give them the per diem, let them stay wherever they want, and if they can't make it to the start time and place on time, then fire them.
I mean, the only place where that makes sense is a place like North Dakota or something crazy, like $600 a week or something.
Yeah.
And obviously, the per diem they're paying you is like $50 a day, so obviously that's not going to work.
Right. I mean, it has to be enough the per diem, according to the contract that they write with their client, if they did it right, should be enough to get a hotel room and the federal rate for food in that city.
Yeah.
So if hotel rooms in that city are $120 a night on average, then your per diem needs to be at least $160 a night, probably. I mean, that's where it's got to be to cover your food and your hotel. But the point being, what we were talking about was basically, it was like two companies that I had worked for. One had a policy of if you weren't in the company vehicle from Reno to the city where we were going to be living out of for the next 10 days or 8 days in their case, if you weren't in the field vehicle for that distance, you didn't get paid. So if you wanted to take your own vehicle, you made a choice of not getting paid.
Yeah.
But my wife and I, we had all the things we had of our possessions in our vehicle because we were shovel bumming. And so one of us would ride in the company vehicle, the other one would ride in our personal vehicle.
And just to put things in perspective, because a lot of people are like, well, there's lots of room in trucks.
Yeah.
These were not trucks.
They were Forerunners.
Yes.
Small ones.
With 4 people in them.
Yeah, they were really small.
That still amazes me when I'd see you guys at when you'd be guys would pull in the Fallon and I'd be there too, and I'm like, how many people are on these things?
It's ridiculous. And sometimes in the field we put 5 in there. I mean, 3 in the back seat. I'm not even kidding. At the end of a hot field day, for a long drive, like we were living out of Eureka one time and driving from that ruby mine that's out there, and I mean it was like a 45-minute drive to get back where we were going, and it was gross. It was gross.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that's in the field, and I'm actually kind of willing to accept that in the field. But on the way to the field, one of the examples, like some of the people there, like, sure, if it's July, the clothing you're going to need to bring for field survey in Nevada is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Like, what you're going to need, right?
Unless you're in, Denio or something.
Well, the point is, in July, even in Denio, you're probably predictable on your field clothing, but you are working in an area in Nevada right now. And I remember working in May in Central Nevada near Austin for a session. It was just me and one other guy. We were down there for a 10-day. On one day we were out there in T-shirts. On another day we got snowed in because there was 12 inches of snow on our vehicles. And on another day it was raining. And this was all in a 10-day period. That's May in the Great Basin. Yeah. So for you to be able to go out and do that work. Now, Richie, you're in that class of field techs that brings a lot of stuff anyway. But even if you were to bring the minimum for what you need to do for work, let's say you brought no cooking equipment, which is, I know you can't even fathom not doing that. But let's say you brought no cooking equipment, you didn't bring anything else, you just brought the clothing that you needed to do your job. You're still looking at a couple big bags or suitcases worth of clothing because you need cold weather clothing.
Yeah.
You need warm weather clothing.
Yeah.
A lot of times you need a big pack because you've got probably a heavy jacket on in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're taking that off by afternoon because it's Nevada.
Yeah.
You got a 50-degree temperature swing throughout the day.
Yeah.
And you just need all your stuff. And I don't know how people do it when they've got small field vehicles and 4 people in it. Now sure, if you've got a Dodge Ram 250 or something and you've got all the space, maybe we're having a different conversation. But the point is, people want to bring their things, they want to be humans, they want to have a quality of life. So let's give them the choices that allow them to choose their own quality of life.
And more importantly, sometimes you don't want to eat out every night, because I feel like that was the solution in that company.
It really was.
Which I feel like it is silly. Mm-hmm. How are you able to save money? Not everyone can buy and sell Mercedes-Benzes.
Well, no, and the company's point was, well, we've budgeted for hotel and per diem for you, and what that means is we're buying the hotel. and you're buying food with that per diem. You're not using it to pay your bills. You're not deciding to eat ramen every night and pay your bills or do something else with that money. We're not giving you that choice. They're like, that money is for food, so you're going to use it for food. And that's what some companies' attitude is. And I worked for one company whose absolute attitude was that way on the East Coast because they did big defense contracts as well.
Yeah.
And because of that, their accounting department had them do receipts for everything. And we all hate receipts companies, but I'll tell you what, that's the one legitimate way to actually enforce that.
I know.
Is to say, you're going to turn in receipts for all your per diem, for all your food items.
Yeah, but you found out all the ways to cheat. I found all the ways to cheat.
I know, you do, but that's not the point. The point is, that's the way it happens. So, anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I'd love to hear people's comments on what they think about people driving their own vehicles into the field. And I don't mean in the field, I mean to the hotel, and they're taking company vehicles from the hotel to the field location.
Although I have had to do that before.
Yeah, well, it happens, and they should do something about it, but who knows?
And for those, and I was thinking about it, because in the Midwest, it's not a big a problem because they're mostly rentals.
Right.
But the trucks I'm using right now, I didn't even know they made, like, stereos that were still just AM FMs. And I know that a lot of people use the, use the little doohickey that, it's like you plug it into the little box, and the little box is like a radio transmitter.
Oh yeah, the FM transmitter thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas we've been using. Wait, does it show up over there?
Yeah, probably.
We've been using Bluetooth stereos, or at least my Bluetooth stereos.
In the truck.
Yeah.
Nice.
And because it's easier and it's like cheaper. Because I was looking at the FM transmitters, like a decent one's like $30 or $40. This is $15.
Nice.
The thing I have learned though in the past week is don't get one that's a front-firing speaker. Get one that's a 360-degree speaker, because my God, we were trying to listen to Desperate Passage, which is the Donner Party. Like, oh my God, I thought my ears were gonna start bleeding because the person in the back can't hear it, obviously, because it's a loud truck.
Yeah.
So get a 360-degree firing speaker.
Yeah, and this 360-degree speaker also would be good for, especially if you're out on like an excavation or something.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to stick music or podcast or whatever right in the middle of everybody. Yeah. That'd be a pretty good deal there too. So. And
that thing is amazing. It also has a memory card slot and an FM radio transmitter. Although it's the most useless scanning transmitter because you can't stop it.
This doesn't look very dirty or scratched up.
No, I just got it.
Oh.
Like Thursday.
Oh, okay. So you really haven't used it in the truck yet?
No.
Yeah.
But, it depends. I have used it in my truck.
Yeah. Nice.
I just haven't used it in the crew truck.
Nice. It's cool.
I also learned that certain people don't like it when you bring truck chips and truck popcorn every day. My crew chief was like, my pants don't fit anymore. And I'm like, well, I have a fast metabolism, so mine still do.
That's right. Plus you jog too. I mean, you keep your metabolism up, so yeah.
And same with the other dude who was with us, Mr.
Nice.
Anthony.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
It was actually, it's funny, there was one day. Did you ever work with a native lady called Virginia and her brother Randy?
I don't know. That sounds familiar, actually, but I'm not sure.
From New Mexico.
Probably. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's one day where me and Anthony are just speeding up a hill. And, he's smoking a cigarette and I'm smoking a cigar. And then we get to the bottom and Virginia's like, I don't understand how you smokers can do it. Because literally she's still going up as we're going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
I'm like, I don't know.
Nice. Hey, we got Lauren on the line, so that's cool.
Yay.
Hey, Lauren.
Oh, yeah, Lauren.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where to look now.
I know. I up this way. So how's the? We haven't been on in a while because you're like a solid citizen again with archaeology. You're working. What are you on? You just finished your second session? Yeah.
Although, oh my God, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I've been doing APN stuff after work.
Yeah.
As much as I can. There was one night where I was sitting there, and normally if I had good internet, it would take like 5 minutes. And I was sitting there at the computer, waiting for it for an hour to do something. To literally just do one thing. I'm like, my God.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. Maybe I should just go to bed, but I was stubborn. I'm like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And some of the stuff Richie's been doing, if you don't follow ArcPodNet on Instagram, go check it out because he's been putting up some good stuff. Get a lot of good engagement too.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's been good to promote the older shows. And the current shows. I
was going to do it yesterday, but then it's one of those things where what's one other thing I've forgotten, not being a field tech? Obviously, I'm still doing a lot of 5-hour energy and caffeine during the week. And so Thursday I was fine. And Friday, 2 days ago, it's like I just basically slept the whole day.
Oh, jeez. Well, you do that after 10 days sometimes, though, just to refresh.
I did that yesterday, too. I was still coming up, I didn't have any coffee yesterday or the day before.
And people say, man, it'd be nice to work 10 on, 4 off and have that 4-day weekend every other weekend, but
No.
I'll tell you what, yeah, your first day off is spent just recovering and probably cleaning gear if you have the energy for it. If not, that happens Saturday, or that happens all day Monday when you're getting ready to go in the field again.
No.
Yeah. Well, some people do it then. So Monday, but even if you've done, your refresh, you did your laundry and everything, Monday you're back to packing again, and you're picking up groceries maybe, depending on what town you're going to be in.
And for me, I'm cleaning up my apartment because I hate coming back to a dirty apartment.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, and of course, other people, unlike me, other people don't have to polish 3 pairs of boots.
You bring that on yourself, buddy.
I can't help it. I gotta have the tie and the shiny shoes.
Let this be a lesson to you. Shine your boots and press your ties before, get a tie steamer or something. I don't know if that's a thing, but do that for your field gear. So, yeah, that's Richie's advice.
One of the new people I've met is like, you dress too handsome in the field. And I'm like, thanks.
Nice. Can you be too handsome, Richie? I don't think so.
No.
That's awesome. So, and if you want to really spruce up your field gear, you can get a custom. I'm going to do a free advertisement for Lauren here. Yeah. Message Lauren on Facebook if you're friends with him on there. You can get he's doing these like custom patch jobs for vests and things. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's pretty
cool. What was the name of the website?
I don't remember. Yeah, he put it up not too long ago.
Damn it.
Like created a business around it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure if Lauren's listening, actually listening, he might put it down in the comments. So go check that out. Yeah.
All right. So, what else was there? Oh my God. Well, speaking of making your own arrangements at the motel, I was at the worst motel ever.
Yeah.
And not like the motel was terrible. The room was actually decent. It was the way the lady treated us.
Right.
So let me explain this. So our field director, she gets a room on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
And she's only paying $46 a night. And so I get there, and they charge me $65 a night, and I'm like, why am I being charged $65? And she's paid $46, and they're like, well, that's what you get for using the internet rate. And so the next week, I go there and I make my reservations, and she's like, I'm going to give you a $10 discount.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And then the next week, I go in, and she's still being charged $46 because she made her reservations on the internet.
Gotcha.
And then to another person, Mr. Anthony, she said, well, she's getting a $46 rate because she just she made her reservations right before the last part of the dead season, and like now it's the busy season, she's gonna be charged $55. But she's not. She's literally, and then she told this lady, like, I'm gonna put you on the first floor because ladies shouldn't have to carry stuff to the second floor, and then all the dudes in the crew got to lug their shit up to the second floor.
Nice.
So I am now at another motel down the street.
Yeah.
And they let me be on the first floor, or will be.
Well, that's the nice thing about getting the freedom of choice in archaeology, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you can stay wherever you want.
Yeah.
You can sleep in your truck if you wanted to.
I could.
I mean, you probably wouldn't.
No. Well, Mr. Rob did.
Sure. Well, and some people have their vehicles set up just for that.
I know. But he's got a little Frontier, and I'm like, no.
Not so much.
He's not exactly a short dude either.
Yeah. So.
But oh my God, that lady so pissed me off, and that's not even the worst part. I wasn't going to talk about this. I swear I wasn't. But she for the first time ever, she would come into my room and turn off my AC, and she kept leaving these passive aggressive notes. Please turn off your AC before you leave. But I'm like, these rooms smell funky, and there's only one one window, and that's the one right next to the door, which is obviously in the hallway. I'm not gonna leave that open.
Yeah.
So it's so I leave the fan on.
Right.
And she kept coming in the room and turning it off. And I'm like, you really don't want anyone to stay here again ever, because that so pissed me off.
Yeah. That it's crazy, those policies. Hotels, I don't even understand them, honestly.
I mean, I've never had a hotel do that. Like, literally, she would come and check on my fan to make sure it was off.
Right.
I'm like, this is really weird.
Yeah, well, these small towns, man, they'll do anything they can to save money. I've had that happen lots of times in Winnemucca and Elko, and they'll just, even if you have a do not disturb on, they'll come in and they'll do anything. There was the townhouse, I think, in Winnemucca.
Oh, I'm staying right next to it. I'm like, I will be staying right next to it.
Yeah.
It's the next hotel over.
Yeah, they had a standing policy at the time that was basically, it doesn't matter if your do not disturb is on or not. They know you're leaving in the morning. They see you going to work.
Yeah.
And they said specifically that they will come in and they'll empty your trash and make sure your AC is turned off. They're like, we don't care. We're not going to have mice and ants from trash not getting emptied. And
That's actually a good policy.
Sure, I get it, but again, it's like companies. I'm pretty sure hotels have to come in every like 3 or 4 days or something like that. Like that's kind of I think it might be a state regulation or something.
Yeah.
But that should be enough time to come in and see whether or not you're keeping your room clean and doing stuff. And they have the ability to just kick you out.
I know.
Like if you're not being a good employee, you'll get fired. If you're not being a good resident of the hotel, you should get kicked out.
True.
Let me, while I'm thinking about that, let me get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because I know this guy who actually had this happen to him, but
yeah,
we were talking on the CRM recording this morning about, and let me also say, we've got pretty good internet connectivity on our machine over here.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the video is super jerky. I'm not really sure why, so sorry about that. Yeah. At least the audio sounds good.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so your thoughts on this. So your company says you're not going to get paid unless you're riding in the field vehicle out to the hotel, right? And you decide, okay, I'm going to leave my vehicle at the building.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ride in the car out to the hotel.
Yeah.
2 things. One, if I do that and my vehicle's broken into or damaged while it's at the office, it should be covered by the office's insurance.
Is it though?
I don't know, but it should be. I'm just going to say that right now. It should be. But here's the other thing we talked about is, let's say you get out there and you're on a 10-day.
Yeah.
And you're 5 hours from Reno or wherever you're going, and you get fired. Day 2. You show up drunk, you punch your crew chief in the face, and they say, that's it, you're fired.
Yeah.
Now what?
Get back to per diem and go home.
How do you get home?
Oh, that's true.
What do you think the policy should be before I tell you what the policy actually is?
It depends, because I've actually dealt with that before.
Yeah.
This girl literally, was out at Roberts Mountain. Mm-hmm. And she had been talking all this shit about how awesome she was, how she did so much hiking and all this crap. And then she gets partway through her first transect and decides, this is too hard, I'm going to quit. So she literally is following them for the rest of the day, but just not transecting.
She quit like in the field?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. And then, the field director is like, all right, well, see ya. And she's like, you can't hold me hostage here. He's like, I'm not. I'm not holding you hostage. He's like, well, how do I get home? I don't know. You got feet.
Yeah.
But eventually he compromised, and so it became my job to drive what became called the wambulance home.
Nice.
I drove her that was my job for the day, drive her back to Reno and then drive back.
Now see, I think that's actually a good policy. I think if you required the person to get paid for their hours to come out in the field vehicle, it's your responsibility to get them back to their vehicle.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the right thing to do. What the guys on the podcast were saying is you bring them to the bus station.
That's what the field director said.
Yeah.
That's what he said next. Although the closest bus station is actually Reno. So
Nice.
That would not have worked.
No. I mean, that doesn't work all the time. But that's the thing, though. They say bring them to the bus station or do whatever. And I think if you're going to fire somebody in the field or they're going to quit, then it's your responsibility to get them back to where they were going.
Man.
You charge them for it.
Yeah.
I mean, this comes out of their pay. The cost, the expense, like whatever it was to get your hourly rate to drive that person back to Reno and back.
Yeah.
They should have taken that out of her last paycheck.
Oh my God, that would have been a better idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The company shouldn't suffer for that.
Yeah.
The person either quit or got fired, and it's their responsibility to pay back or to compensate whatever it is to do what they were doing. But it's also the company's responsibility to make sure that they're, even though they might be being a jerk right now, that they have to be treated in a fair and healthy way. So you can't just leave them in some town and then go. No, but you shouldn't as humans,
Because the field director is like, we're just going to drop them off in Eureka next time.
Right. I just don't. I think that's kind of a childish thing to do.
It is.
But
we both know.
But it's the common opinion, for what people do. But again, as a responsible human and adult, you should take them back to the office.
Oh my God, there's something we got to talk about off the air, but it's really funny.
Yeah,
but anyway.
keep it up.
But what was that? Oh God, there was something else I was going to think of. Damn it. Well, keep talking.
Well, anyway, I was just going to say, I think the most company policies is to, if they're far enough distance away, is to just put them on a bus or something. That actually happened with a company know about that. We were actually in, where were we? I think we were in Battle Mountain, and some guy he was drunk, and he got into the field vehicle to drive it in the morning.
Really?
And they realized it, and they turned around and came back to the hotel and fired him. And but he came from Boise.
Oh.
So they put him on a bus to Boise with his backpack.
But at least you're in Battle Mountain, so it's like someplace where you can like put someone something.
Right.
It's not like, you're out in the pancakes and like the closest place is like, a 5-hour drive away. Because, it's like, well, hell, if you're going to drive 5 hours, you may as well just drive all the way back to Reno.
Yeah, Battle Mountain actually had a bus station because it's on 80. So,
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, but what really pissed us off about the Roberts Mountain project is because it was such a nice area and it was mountain and it was BLM land. A bunch of us were going to just camp out there on our 6 days.
Oh, yeah.
Because, but the field director was like, no, we're not going to give you per diem for the last day unless you drive all the way back to Reno.
Nice.
And, of course, you're back in Reno, and so, like, would you really drive back out?
Yeah.
But we always thought that was a dick move.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But,
What do you do? So anyway, I guess my thesis is always to treat people fairly, even if they're not treating you fairly.
Yeah.
It kind of comes around kind of thing.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and not only that, but if somebody's either if somebody gets fired in the field for some reason, they truly are either just jerks of a human. But I think in more likely the case, this is a really hard job that we have.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe they're just having a really stressful, hard time right now. And I'm going to fire them because they're detrimental to my project, but I'm not going to fire them in a way that makes me look like a dick in front of the other employees.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to fire them in a way that is really disrespectful to them. They were disrespectful to me, but that doesn't mean I have to go the other direction.
Well, think about how many people we know who have broken down in the field.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's the dude? I mean, we're not going to say his name, but the dude who was at the company we were both worked for, before the person we worked for got there.
That's very cryptic, but go ahead.
Well, before Harold got there was a dude there.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, cause, I'm not gonna say the company name, but he started his own company, everything, and he broke down. He literally just broke down on the road. Not like the car broke down. He broke down.
Yeah, it's a stressful job. And we as people in a leadership position, which I'm typically in now.
Yeah.
You have to realize that. I mean, not only that, but field techs also have to realize that whoever's running the project is also having a stressful time.
Yeah.
They might have a full-time job and, all the benefits and all the stuff like that, but they're literally fighting to keep their job every day because one project they screw up is a $150,000 project and now they're fired.
Yeah. Unless you work for the company that's no longer in town and you get the next biggest project the company ever had.
Right. Well, stuff like that happens. So.
But, it's just like, I mean, I'm at the same hotel my field director was for, 2 sessions. And, I could go back to the motel and have a smoke and then fire up the computer and then, do that after, like just fool around for a little while.
Right.
Where she had to literally just work. You get back to the motel at 6:30 and then just work until 11 and then go to bed.
Yeah, well, I work for that same company, and I'll tell you what, that's one of the first places I used my iPad in Nevada. And my wife was also doing the extra 2 or 3 hours of work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I managed to find a more efficient way to do it. Tried telling them about it, but they didn't care, and finished all my work at the end of the day.
You know what piece of equipment she brings out that I thought was very interesting? Mm-hmm. A physical scanner. To scan documents and stuff.
Oh, well, that's good. That's not something you have to hide.
You know? But then I was like, every phone can, you just take a photo and it automatically turns it into a JPEG or, a PDF.
That's true, if you have the right app.
Yeah. But everyone's got a phone that can do that.
True.
Dropbox does that, if you didn't know.
Was it her scanner or a company scanner?
Company scanner.
So maybe she just didn't want to use her own phone for that stuff. Some people are pretty crazy about that.
She did.
Yeah, and I understand that. You might want to, because some of these apps, I have, I don't think Dropbox doesn't actually do this, but like QuickBooks, like a big popular financial services application.
Yeah.
When I take a picture of a receipt in QuickBooks, it doesn't automatically read the receipt and fill in the information. It just takes a picture. And B, it puts the damn thing in my camera roll.
Oh.
Dropbox doesn't do that.
That's true. It puts it in your Dropbox.
It puts it in your Dropbox. I'm like, QuickBooks, every time I go to my camera roll after I put in a bunch of receipts, I've got 40 pictures of receipts in my camera roll. And then when my screensaver comes up, that's all my pictures, I see receipts. So I understand if somebody doesn't want to scan official company documents with their phone, maybe they don't have the right app or whatever, and they don't want to use up their own phone resources to do that.
Oh, but you might be impressed by this. They might not give you iPads, but they do give you iPhones at this company now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
could use that.
Yeah, especially since this person's on Sprint, and Sprint doesn't work anywhere.
Right. You also, even if you're document scanning with your device, you also need those scans to be able to go where the company will let them go.
Yeah.
So if you're scanning them with a scanner, that's going onto a computer. Maybe they want them to stay on the computer or something like that. It's a little more difficult, not impossible, obviously, but difficult to get them off your phone.
Yeah. Oh, somewhat.
I mean, it can be. It depends on your device and what you're doing.
Oh, that reminds me. I was looking, check out Chris's Instagram, or no, the APN Instagram, or is it yours?
No, it's ArcPodNet.
Well, I was also thinking, where'd you put that WildNote picture where you're testing out the DPR forms?
Oh, they put that up.
Oh, they did.
They tagged me in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was probably on mine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how's it working?
It's working really well.
And we should mention what we're talking about too.
Well, yeah, WildNote is the company I'm actually doing sales for. Full disclosure. So I get a commission when I make a sale for them. But it's not very much, and that's a good thing because WildNote doesn't cost very much.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we've got within probably a week, hopefully. If you were to sign up for the free trial, you would see, basically, we're calling them beta versions of all the generic forms I've got. I'm calling them standard forms, so the artifact recording stuff, field notes, all that kind of thing that you can use pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Shovel testing, stuff like that. Plus the Nevada forms.
Oh, really?
The new Utah forms that came out last year, and all the California DPRs.
Wait, Utah just doesn't use the IMAX short form?
No, Utah used the IMAX long form, Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D, and they revamped the entire thing into, wait for it, Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. They just changed it a little bit. They changed some of the wording on stuff, and they changed some of the order, but they still have a 4-part IMAX form for every site.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have all that in WildNote.
That's so crazy.
I know. The only issue that we're working on, in fact, I was just talking this morning with one of the devs. I've got a meeting with them this week.
Yeah.
The only thing we're still working out with the DPRs can be used right now for field recording.
Yeah.
So if you had a long project and you weren't worried about export to PDF just yet, you can absolutely use them to record right now because the export issue will be fixed within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it's really just a peculiarity with the California DPR form in that on the main form, they generally don't want it reformatted. Like in Nevada, if you've got your IMAX short form and you have a site description that's 25 pages long, it just expands to fill that, and everything else is under that.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we do. Well, in California, for people that don't know, you've got a block that's this big, and when it gets bigger, you can't make it bigger. The continuation of that description goes onto a continuation form.
That's stupid.
It's the way they do it. But taking... So Part A, Part B, 523A, B, C, D, E, F, and G are all forms that you record stuff on, and then H is artifact, and then you go from there. So, but for all those, they all have blocks of text that are limited in size.
I know, and they're very tiny between lines.
So here's the problem: when you have a continuation sheet that follows all that, you have one continuation sheet, and that's going to say, 523A P1A continued. And then it's going to say 523B P4 continued.
I see what you mean.
So you need to take these separate things that are continued and add them onto one continuation sheet. And from a coding standpoint, that's a non-trivial problem. It's I should say that that's not a trivial problem. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to do, but it takes some work, and that's what they're working on right now. So they're going to get it done, and they figured out how to do it, but it's just brute force just doing it. So they got to get it done. So, and then we're working on little things like, I have to tell them how the Utah export's going to work. What does that export look like? Because when you export a PDF, you're not just exporting the site form, you're exporting feature descriptions, artifact tables, photo logs, all that stuff that's not on the Utah site form or the Nevada site form. They're just expected to be there. Yeah. So we have all that stuff. So anyway, sign up for your 30-day free trial, wildnoteapp.com. And I'll probably be in touch with you after you do that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it.
But then you'll be eliminating like the sassy office secretary who types up all the forms. Like, what are they going to do for their life?
Yeah, maybe they could actually do like marketing and phone work like they're supposed to do, rather than doing photo logs. How about that? How about promoting your company and finding extra business? Yeah. So.
Because it's just like every office I've ever been to, there's always that sassy secretary up front who could like, why are these forms dirty?
Yeah, man, what did you think that girl's doing that was at that last company we both worked for?
Oh,
what do you think
her.
she's doing now?
Oh my God.
I have no idea.
I want to say things, but they'd be very rude.
Yeah, who knows what she's doing.
I mean, not
now.
like mean, but just like realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, some of her life choices are not cheap.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn it. Wait, what time is it? Oh, good. So we still have time. Alrighty. So one thing I wanted to talk about this week, I thought it might take up the whole show, so I was going to mention it first, but then it kind of got sidetracked. Some of the people I've been working with, like, they were up for other jobs, and they got their interviews, and they totally screwed them up. Like, one person's just like, describe all the section, describe the Section 106 process, how you do it, and then she completely blanked. But it's like, come on. And then the other person, just like gave rambling, incoherent answers and was like, didn't talk in complete sentences. She had the job at the beginning of the interview. They were trying to schedule her first day, and then by the end of it, they're like, "We'll call you."
So, they're asking field techs to describe the Section 106 process?
No, this person would have been a field director or something higher.
Well,
up.
that makes sense. I was going to say field techs.
Yeah, but these are both higher up people, but they were interviewing for other jobs, and they completely flubbed the interviews. So I'm thinking, man, like. Between you and me, because I know any job where I can go and talk to someone, I'm going to get the job. And I feel like you talk to a lot of people too. Like between the two of us, we should be able to give people some good ideas about some good interview advice.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, well, shit, the first thing I would say is we live in a social media world. So, make sure you're not direct friends with anybody that is at that company, but just assume that even if you are, you can make posts on Facebook and I'm not and exclude certain people if you want to. No. And I'm only saying do this so they don't think you're unprepared, because that could be seen by somebody like that. But I would say, ask other people, say, hey, I've got an interview with this company. Can anybody give me some pointers and advice on what the kind of stuff they might ask? Because there's no way you're going to know what the questions they're going to ask in an interview, aside from the normal types of questions.
Yeah.
If they're going to throw something oddball at you, there's no way you're going to know that. Unless you ask somebody that's been through the process.
Yeah, and some companies, like the bookstore I used to work at, specialized in like oddball questions, just to like see how you'd react to nasty customers.
Yeah.
Or just because the owner's weird.
Well, I mean, the bookstore is a customer service business.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't have good answers for how they're going to react to customers, then they probably shouldn't work there.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's going to happen on the fly.
Yeah. And I feel like I aced the interview.
Yeah.
I probably did. Even though I wasn't interviewing for the front of the store yet,
right
at that time. But
well, and I would say too, one of the biggest things I could tell you is, if you're interviewing for, especially an upper level position, anything other than field tech, basically, or even if you're interviewing as a field tech, you could have a company that says, they look at your CV and see that you've never worked in the Great Basin and you're applying for a job here. They might ask you all about mining features and what do you know about head frames, and show you a series of pictures and say, what do you think about this? Because you're expected to record that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you can be ready with some pretty basic answers that'll work everywhere, and say, listen, I don't have any direct experience with historic mining because I've worked on the East Coast or whatever I've done, but I know how to describe things in a technical, scientific way.
Yeah.
And it's like, even though I might not know what this is called, I know what to measure, I know what to record, I know what to take pictures of.
Yeah.
I know what to describe with heavy detail and what not to spend so much time on.
Yeah.
Just with my experience of being an archaeologist. And every archaeologist should be able to say that.
Because you might not know what the head frame is used for, but it's a wooden structure, it's X number of, it's X tall, and it's got these dimensions, and it's got this equipment, it's got this hardware on it, and it's over some kind of mine shaft.
I'll tell you what, the first season that I saw mining features ever in my life, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I didn't know. I knew what a head frame was just because, I don't know, some kind of knowledge that I had because they're pretty distinctive. But half that other stuff, I mean, I probably still don't know what most of that other stuff is. I mean, there's a lot of things on a mine, especially when you're looking at a mine that's 150 years old or 100 years old even, that is decrepit. Some things were pulled away. You're only looking at a part of the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, you get some people out there that that read in a book one time that they saw that this was this, and now they think that they're king shit on mining stuff, and they just understand all of it, and they hold that over other people. You know, I try not to ever hold any knowledge over somebody. You learned everything once.
Yeah.
You know,
like, I mean, you know, obviously you might know what a stope is, but can you name all, like, I forget how many stopes there are. I've got a mining book.
I don't even know.
Yeah, there's like multiple different kinds of stopes, and most people wouldn't even know what a stope is.
I'll tell you what, I don't even care how many kind there are, because I can describe all of them pretty well.
Yeah.
I can draw them too, if need be. I love drawing like adits and the approaches and stuff like that. I love drawing that kind of stuff.
It's like, how many people even know the difference between a placer pit and a adit?
Probably very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can describe them, you don't need to know what they're called.
Exactly.
Especially at the field tech level, your job is to actually describe the things, and it's the crew chief's job. The crew chief is the first one in this line anyway that is going to go through and describe and make that probably initial. In some companies they probably won't do this, but in some companies they might. But they may make that initial National Register determination for eligibility, and they're going to do that based on what they know about the site. So they better know what things are called and what they were used for. Because you could have this one type of stope that just is not in any of the books, and that's going to make it eligible because it's unique. You know, something like that. Somebody did something different there, so that could make it potentially eligible. But in a lot of companies, that decision actually is made back in the office by maybe a project manager that's going to go through and do NRHP stuff.
But do we have any more practical tips, like how to keep your cool during an interview? Because I feel like that's the sort of, I don't know if you can teach that. Can you?
It takes practice. It really just takes practice. It takes just sitting there, and it takes just going through a whole lot of interviews and learning your lessons from what you learned. Get there early, be prepared. Don't be stressed out. You know, if it's going to take some traffic, I mean, get there half an hour early and walk around the parking lot or something if you don't want to go in the building. Yeah. You know, sit in your car, listen to some classical music. I mean, I don't care what you got to do to relax. Listen to heavy metal, whatever you do to relax.
Interesting.
And just collect your thoughts and go in ready to go. And you know, one thing I try to do.
Yeah.
And this, I started doing this in the Navy actually.
Oh. Yeah.
Because when I first got in the Navy, I was completely intimidated by officers.
Oh.
Because they were like this other level of being in the military, right? You could have somebody who's a master chief in the Navy and they've been in for 25 years, but they're still enlisted. Then you have a lieutenant show up and they're just on this other plane of existence, and the lieutenant is like a 26-year-old that's been in for a year and a half, right? So, but it's just that aura that they're given in the military. And
plus, I bet nicer uniforms. Am I wrong?
Actually, they're kind of the same uniforms as chiefs. They just have different effects, insignia on them. Yeah. So, I mean, their dress uniforms are different. Yeah. But aside from that, the regular utility uniforms aren't. But anyway, they just have this different aura about them. And officers carry themselves differently. They expect to be treated differently. I mean, it's just a different thing. But at some point, especially, maybe it's because I was in aviation and I got to talk to some of these young lieutenants a lot, you know, on a little more familiar basis, because we're out on the flight line, we're getting the plane ready. You get to talk to them and you realize that they're just like snot-nosed kids that just got out of the academy or just got out of college, and now they're flying jets. And really, the kind of jets I worked on, the EA-6B Prowler, they're like the school bus of fighter jets, right? They're not fighter jets at all. They can do maneuvers and stuff, but they don't fight.
Yeah.
They're not F-18 pilots. Let's just put it that way. You know, like the EA-6B pilots, they're like the band geeks, and I was a band geek, so I can say that. And then you've got the F-18 pilots, which is like the captain of the football team. You know what I mean? Like from a school perspective. So. So once you realize that they're just humans, they're just people, you start to talk to them a little more familiar. Now, you still have to maintain that level of respect between enlisted and officer. Yeah. But when we would have an admiral visit or something like that, or somebody high up visit for some inspection, I would be as respectful as I can, especially as a shop supervisor, and I would do what I had to do. But I would also, once those formalities were done and we're just standing there, I just talked to them like a human being.
Yeah.
You know, and they respect that. They like being talked to like a human being. Now, the reason I'm saying all this is because when you sit down in front of an employer, somebody who's going to provide your livelihood for the next however long, knows how long, that level of distance between you and them can be perceived in the same way.
Yeah.
And you just realize that they're just people that are trying to get a job done. They were where you were at one point in time. For some of them, it might have been a longer ago than others.
Yeah.
But they were where you were at, and they just want to get the job done. They're just archaeologists. Just sit there. Don't be disrespectful, but be comfortable. You know, just talk to them and say, hey, you know, have you ever been out here? Have you done this? You know, bring up some fun story.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and be rigid about it. There's no reason for it. They're not expecting it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, oh my God, I hate to say this, but it's almost like, you know, it's almost like dating skills.
It really kind of is. You know, and along the lines of dating skills, you have to also read the room.
Yes.
You know, is the person sitting behind that desk or table, are they comfortable?
That's
because
true.
if they're not comfortable and they're sitting there like that, you probably shouldn't joke with them.
That's
you know what I mean?
Unless you're trying to make them comfortable.
Right, but you also got to play that.
I know.
You got to tread that lightly because that person, and I'm thinking of somebody you know recently, that person may not be the kind of person that jokes a lot, and they may not. They may not.
They don't.
They may just not take well to that. But here's my kind of take on that too.
Yeah.
If I've got options, if I'm an experienced field tech and I've got options and I'm interviewing for this job and it's not the only thing I have going for me right now, and I have a little bit of flexibility,
yeah.
well, I might sort of try to crack a joke and lighten the mood anyway, because if this person doesn't want to hire me because I want to be fun and have a good time, do I want to work for that person?
No.
Now, you got to pay your bills. So maybe you toe the line and you do what you got to do to get that job while you're still looking for something else. But know that you might burn that bridge if you agree to do a 3-month project and you leave in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But it happens.
It does happen. And again, I would be, I don't want to say pissed as an employer if somebody took a job and then left in a couple weeks. But I would definitely be a little bit frustrated, but I wouldn't try to hold that against them. It'd be really hard, but I try not to hold it against them because I was a field tech and I know that no field tech on the planet really, if they really sat down and thought about it, has the company's best interest at heart, because how can they? They have to, they're basically contractors and we're not paid as contractors, but we're act like contractors. And you have to, you know that this company that you're working for, you're not going to be there in a year. You might not even be there in 3-4 months. It depends on their workload.
That's true.
You know, they might say they have projects, but if everything falls apart, you're going to be gone. Yeah. And then you're going to work for somebody else. Yeah. And that's how it is.
Or you'd be working at another kind of job.
Or something. Yeah, either way, you're not working for them. So they have to know that the field tech, number one in the field tech's life is that person. Yeah. You know, it's like any other job. It's just more so because your job is on the line in a very short period of time. You know that it's a weird field that we have where you know you get a job and you're not going to retire from it. Yeah. You know, you might get lucky and be there for a year or two, but you know, chances are you're going to be there for a project, maybe 2 projects, maybe a season. Yeah. But that's the most you can typically hope for.
It's interesting though. How do you teach people to think on the fly? Because I think one of those things is that a lot of people, you know, they have the same sort of anxiety they would for presenting a poster or a PowerPoint presentation. Sure. But you can't just read straight from your slides. You actually have to like talk to someone.
Part of that comes from just public speaking, getting up in front of people. And, you know, as far as conference stuff goes, I would say go present at like historical societies or something where nothing's on the line.
But I meant people treat it like a conference, but, you know, it's an interview.
Yeah, I know. And again, I don't know that you can teach that.
It's interesting.
The one thing that tends to make me a little overconfident is that I'm confident in my abilities. Yeah. You know, so having confidence in yourself and knowing your own value and self-worth will have you present yourself differently. If you go into a job interview and you think, man, there's no way I'm going to get this, I'm way underqualified for it, you're probably going to come off that way.
Exactly.
But if you go into every job interview thinking in your brain solidly that you're overqualified for it and they'd be happy to have you, then you know, I mean, for me, that works out.
Or for me, I just think, you know, I can just chat with someone and eventually they'll just like me enough to hire me.
Sure.
It's kind of like the other day. I was at the bookstore and I was getting a book for my book club. And I casually just talked to a customer and got him to buy another book.
Nice.
I wasn't even working. They weren't paying me. I'm like, oh, that book. I love that book. You know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I was like, oh, my God. How much is that? $2.99. But with your book card, it's free.
Nice.
You know, I used to do that all the time at the bookstore.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes. Like I've been in either Best Buy or even like the Apple store. Yeah. And somebody's sitting there and we just strike up a conversation with somebody and end up basically selling them something for the store, you know, and talking them into it.
Oh my god, I went down to the Best Buy the other day. That's actually something we can end the show on. I went down to Best Buy Friday, and I was going to buy the stereo and everything, have it put in my truck. But my god, one of the things I didn't realize is that it's a 2-week wait for the, because apparently each Best Buy store in town has only 1 or 2 installers.
Oh, jeez.
For all the stereos they're selling.
Yeah.
But, yeah. My god, that's going to happen. That's the other reason I got the speaker.
Yeah.
Because at least for a little while, I might be going out to, I'll be making a long commute. We'll see. And I was hoping I'd have my birthday off this year for like the first time in a million years, but that's not going to happen again.
Field birthday. Hey, at least you've got like a built-in like birthday party. You can just tell everybody, hey, let's go to the bar tonight, or let's go have fun.
Yeah.
You know, unless you don't like them.
I mean, I even quit smoking big cigars, so I'm not even going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still smoke like lots of little cigars, but I don't count that.
Yeah. Lots of little cigars.
I can't help it.
It's just volume at this point.
See.
Nice.
Well, it's also something to do.
Yeah.
When you're walking around.
Indeed.
Unless the ground is dry.
Yeah, then you gotta be real careful.
Oh my god, you know what's funny? At least 3 of us, like, you know, before we got on this project, we all had cut down our smoking a lot. But now they're all hanging out with each other. We're all just kind of mutually encouraged, like, getting each other to smoke more.
Oh my god.
Including one person who doesn't smoke.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So, hey, there you go, smoker.
Yeah.
So in reference to keeping this going,
Yeah.
I think, you know, I had we had some logistical issues when Richie first took this this new job.
Huh.
I had some out of town stuff, and it wasn't jiving with his 4 days off. But now I think we're kind of back in sync a little bit.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think today's the 20th. Yeah, I'll be here the next weekend that you're in town.
Oh, cool.
I think the one after that, if I'm thinking of my weekends right, I might be in New York, June 9th, 10th, 11th, something like that.
Yeah.
But either way, we'll figure it out. So keep your eyes on this page for us showing up. If maybe, you know, we can do the scheduled live recording if we know that we're going to hit a Sunday.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait.
And we can get that going.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, and hopefully the video's better next time. It looks great on this side.
It does.
But just watching the picture, maybe it's just my computer right now. I don't know. But watching the picture, it doesn't look very good. So,
well, according to this, we're outputting at 200, 2,000 something kilobytes.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your
No
computer
drop frames.
isn't working that hard, actually.
No.
I mean, it feels like it's working hard.
Yeah, I'm not honestly sure why this picture is so. I should just restart this window.
But,
Maybe everybody else has seen it in a better way than I am. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and you're forgetting that Facebook is also encoding it on its end, so it might actually look better once we're done and it's uploaded.
Yeah, probably will. Probably
Might be
will.
wrong.
So if you're watching this in post, maybe it's better.
Oh my god, you know what else was interesting? I was one of the only 2 people out there had watches.
Oh, really?
Everyone else had Fitbits.
Fitbits, yeah.
Or, although I still want the Garmin Vivo Active.
Yeah.
Or one of the Garmins.
Yeah.
Just because I trust the GPS on a Garmin more. But I thought that was super interesting. Everyone, like, it's like, it doesn't seem like that long ago. And by the way, when I say Fitbit, I don't mean like the super basic Fitbit. I mean like the real Fitbits.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone had those.
Funny thing is, those are still about the same price as an Apple Watch.
I know.
Yeah. Like you can get the Series 2 Apple Watch, I think, still, or maybe they got rid of this 2 and have the 1 now. Either way, because Series 3 is the most recent one, but you can always get like a model or 2 back, and I think you can get it for like $250, which is a high-end Fitbits are $200 to $300 plus. Yeah. So, maybe they're Android users.
They are.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, that explains it. So,
but the thing is, it's crazy how much. My God, it's like people when smartwatches first came out, people are like, who's going to use this? Who wants to have a charging dock? Blah blah blah.
Right.
And it's like now it's like so common.
Yeah.
It's like the other day. God, I didn't bring it because I didn't want to bring too much crap. But I have a Bluetooth, a new Bluetooth speaker that's just like your Apple ones, except that it's a single.
Nice.
But and unlike it doesn't have a case. It has like a special USB dock that's magnetized, and you just bring the earpiece near it, and then it'll just automatically snap to it and wireless charge.
Nice. Oh, so not speaker, you mean headphones?
Yeah.
Yeah, headphones. Nice.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because my old one, I had one of those old big ones. And the thing is, you couldn't use it for some reason. It wouldn't let me listen to podcasts, but it only let me talk on the phone, which was useless.
Weird. Weird.
Which I guess shows how old it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a nice thing about those. Just a short plug for those for wireless Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
And when I say wireless, I mean wireless. Like
Yeah.
they don't have a wire between them.
Yeah.
One nice thing about that is if they have their own charging case,
Yeah.
like the AirPods do. One thing I've done, because if you're out working on survey and you're in an area where they're allowing you to wear like a headphone, I'll put one in, leave the other one in the charger, and when this one dies in like 5 or 6 hours, I'll pull it out, put it in the charger, and then pull the other one out.
Oh.
So I get an entire day's worth of use out of it.
That's why I was going to get another one.
Yeah, I get an entire day's, and I don't, because I never want both of them in anyway.
Yeah.
Because I should always have like one of them out. So another sort of knock-on side effect of that is my wife and I, we live downtown in Reno, so we go out walking around all the time.
Yeah.
And when we want to listen to music or something and just go for a walk, and we'll be talking, but we'll listen to music, she'll have one in and I'll have the other one in, and we're listening to the same thing.
Oh my God. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and for people who are wondering what brand I use, because obviously it's the Apple one, but if you're looking for something that's cheaper and yet much more reliable, I don't know if it's
much more reliable.
Well, I shouldn't say. It's more reliable than some of the generic ones. Because I've used a bunch of generic ones, and these ones are really cheap.
Yeah.
Like the one I got was $16, including shipping.
Yeah.
But it's MPOW. Just type that into your Amazon or eBay search bar, and it'll come up with all their Bluetooth accessories.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the one I use. And then for Bluetooth speakers, Anker. Although, obviously, for my real one, I use a Sony.
Nice.
Yeah, the Sony, because it's badass.
Yeah.
But, oh God, there was something else. What is this dog park, by the way? Because you and whatchamacallit were talking about dog park yesterday.
Oh my God. I wasn't talking about it. I just commented on Jenny's post. It's so if you know Reno, there's actually, if you work for a company here, like 10 years ago, I don't know when it was, they did this project. It's called the Retrack Project.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the one that basically submerged the train tracks under downtown Reno.
Yeah.
Well, we live right on 2nd and Sierra, and between basically just north of our building is called Commercial, and then between Commercial and 3rd is the Retrack area. And they covered it, so it's a tunnel, but they covered it with this concrete. Well, a lot of people in my building and other buildings nearby, they'll go to like that little grassy area that's right there, and they'll just let their dogs do their business right there. They clean it up. I mean, there's like dog bags and stuff. But people have been petitioning to build a dog park right there, like right there in the middle of town. So it's going to be a fenced-in area where you can, I think, where you can let your dog off the leash. They can do their stuff. They can interact with other dogs. Because right now you don't want to let them off the leash because you're in downtown Reno.
Yeah.
But to have a space to do that for dog owners is pretty good.
How big is this space?
It's not very big at all.
Because, I know we're right next to a dog park here. And that place is huge.
Right, but that's not really a dog park, is it? Isn't it more of an athletic field that people use as a dog park?
Yeah, but it's completely fenced in.
Yeah, sure. I mean, people use it that way, but it's not a... So, when I used to have a dog, especially back when I was in the Navy and I had like it's kind of a regular job.
Yeah.
My wife and I would take our dog to this dog park, and it was like a legit dog park area. For one thing, you don't want it to be huge because you want to keep eyes on your dog in case they get into trouble with another dog. But also, it doesn't have extra stuff in there that's not good for dogs. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have a lot of playground equipment or anything like that. This is for dogs to run around, socialize. There's typically not very many fights because when they're off leash and they're able to sniff everything, it kind of equalizes the playing field from a dog standpoint. They don't have territory, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, fights still happen because they're dogs, but it's less likely to happen. So that's what this is for. And there's really no area in downtown Reno for residents of downtown Reno. And there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 high-rise downtown buildings in Reno. So there's a lot of people living down there. Not to mention all the weekly motels.
But where's this mural?
So the mural is on one of the, there's like some equipment boxes that I think are like ventilation boxes for the train tunnel below, I think.
Yeah.
And it's painted on the side.
Interesting. Have you looked for her dog?
I had not since I saw the picture. I think the artist is adding to it because they painted some dogs up from the building that are part of the dog park coalition for my building. And it was just a few of them. And then the picture she put up actually had more on there. So I think they're just going all the way across or maybe all the way around.
Cool.
And getting people to submit pictures of their dogs or something. I don't really know how it's working. So I was totally surprised because she doesn't even live downtown. No. So I'm not sure how she knew about it or cared about it. But, whatever. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. What else can we talk about? Wait, what about that new Chinese restaurant?
It's delicious.
Really?
The one on West?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Kwok's Bistro, I think. It used to be China something or other.
Yeah, that's when I knew it.
China Diner. Yeah, apparently it's pretty gross when it was China Diner, but
yeah,
we went there. I'll tell you one thing. the only thing is, if you get just like a regular plate of food, like a, general chow chicken or something like that, if you get something like that, it's actually for like $12 to $14. It's not very much food. It's like a few pieces of chicken and some rice.
Really?
Yeah. But if you get the bowl, like a beef bowl or noodle bowl or something like that with beef or chicken in it, it's like $10, $11 and like a massive bowl of food. Like, you'll take half of that home.
That's like the third or fourth bowl place, like near your apartment.
I know, it's crazy.
You got the Korean place.
Yeah, the Bab Cafe.
And then,
but that's more of a rice bowl. That's not soup.
True.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, they opened a second location too down at Summit Sierra.
Really?
Right next to the theater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, they're doing that well?
Apparently. Yeah. So.
That's so weird. Or maybe they just have a really deep bank account.
Well, for any archaeologist in town, I think from 1st to the 7th of June, it's I think I saw on their sign, it's like 2 for 1 or something.
Really?
It's their 1 year anniversary plus celebrating the opening of the new store.
Oh, well, speaking of archaeologists and anniversaries, Tentor, which is a brewery here in town, is having their 1 year anniversary at some point soon.
Nice. Also, I'll make another plug for archaeologists doing other things. Something I've heard of for a while here in Reno, but we never went until Friday morning. We went there for the first time. It's called Daughter's Cafe.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, this woman named Barb, who was a former CRM and academic archaeologist. She worked for a Marine base down in San Diego for many years, and she owns the cafe. She was an archaeologist for 20 years.
Where is this?
It's right on First and Bell, I think it is, in Reno. Just a hair west of downtown, right off the river, a couple streets off the river.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Daughter's Cafe. It was, I'll tell you what, the food wasn't like super cheap, but it was delicious.
Was it better than the gold and silver?
Oh my God. Can't even talk to you right now. Yeah, no, it was great. Check it out. Let's go support a local archaeologist. And I had to say something to the cook. She was cooking, so I had to say something to the waitress because I had right on the menu. It said, "Your food is cooked by an archaeologist."
Really?
Yeah, right on the menu.
Wow.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. And it turns out every Tuesday night she has she lives right down the street from a former shippo for Nevada. And every Tuesday night they go out to Verdi and have they buy lottery tickets or something and have dinner and talk every Tuesday night. Yeah, wow. She told me to show up, and I was like, if I show up, I'm bringing my recorder.
That's cool. That's like another archaeologist we know. I mean, technically it's her husband's place, restaurant, but in Virginia City.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. I
don't know if she'd want to plug. She probably might be.
I mean, it's a business. They want to plug.
That's true. Canvas Cafe.
Canvas Cafe, Virginia City. Check them out.
Yeah.
They're cool because they always have different things on the menu. Sometimes they don't have a menu at all.
Really?
And it's just like whatever Richard wants to cook.
Ooh.
It's like, surprise me. Bring me the thing. And he just makes something. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So I think they have some pretty standard fare for breakfast. That's the only. Actually, I've only ever been there for breakfast, but he will just cook something up. So.
Oh my God! Before we run out of time, I don't know how long we've been going, but
about an hour.
But one thing I did want to say, it's like going for a regular job, that where you pretty much have to economize everything.
Yeah.
And then suddenly having being able to pay all your bills, including all the bills you've been letting pile up. And being able to buy stuff that you want, like a new barbecue grill, and still having money in the bank account is nice.
Yeah.
So
go figure, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's so weird because when I hadn't worked a regular job in a million years, and people would get in this business and be like, "I'm a rich scientist now." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We're only earning X number of dollars. I'm on unemployment every winter. This is terrible. I should be paid more. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. So, all right. Well, I think that's it for this show, eh?
Maybe.
Yeah.
If I can ever find that.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks probably.
True.
Unless Richie gets fired and I have to pick him up at the Greyhound station, then.
Well, I drove my own truck out.
Okay. So you'll be back right away.
Actually, if I did, there's actually the Amtrak station there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Because it's right across the street from the Martin Hotel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know what was really weird, by the way? I saw a customer there, a bookstore customer there when I was there. Like, this is so weird.
Nice.
And she was alarming the people in the crew because she was talking about the BLM and all this stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She's really big into Nevada history.
Yeah.
That's how I know her, because I used to stock the Nevada history section.
Sure.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, on that note, we'll see everybody. In the meantime, check out. You can find this show on the ArcPodNet page, of course, right on the homepage. But that basically just links to videos that we have that go to Richie's YouTube page.
Yeah, you call this Happy Archaeology Fun Time.
I think you have to change it to you call this Happy Archaeology Fun Time.
Maybe. And God, the problem is that uploading takes like 2 or 3 days, and obviously
Yeah.
it's hard to upload on my 4 days.
Sure.
You
Sure.
know, I mean, I don't know. I'll try my best.
Yeah.
But there's still like 20 videos on there.
Yeah, there's a number of them on there. So
Yeah.
no worries.
And now that I have a external hard drive, I should be uploading to my channel for regular videos,
right.
even though they're only going to be like 4 or 5 minute videos.
And of course, if you wanted to go back and have on while you're just doing nothing, firing pots in your kiln and grilling steaks, you can always find all these videos. Facebook stores them for us at multiple video qualities. You can just click on a thing in the bottom here if you're on a website, a web browser. Desktop, I should say, browser. I don't know how you do it on the phone. Depends on your phone, but either way, you can change the quality and you can see the recorded version. So, and it's probably not going to be jerky video, like Richie said, because that's a good point. We're uploading good quality video.
Yeah.
Facebook will, do their encoding, and then you'll get a halfway decent version.
Oh, and before I forget, we probably should have talked about this when I was talking about speakers, but I know Stitcher lets you download podcasts to listen to later if you don't have any reception, because obviously when we're doing our hour-and-a-half commute, a lot of it we don't have any data. Anything else? Any other apps you can think of? Because it's the only one I'm aware of.
No, I mean, most of them do.
Really?
iTunes does.
Oh.
Yeah, iTunes does if you're on iPhone. Google Play, I actually don't know about Google Play, but I would imagine they do. I use Downcast. That downloads by default. You don't stream on Downcast. You can stream. Most people don't stream because of data, though.
Oh.
So Stitcher, they will just download right to your device.
Yeah.
I think that's the default also for that. I don't know why anybody would stream podcasts. I've never done it.
Neither have I.
Yeah, so either way, check your podcast app. Make sure it's actually downloading and not streaming. That should be the default, but who knows?
Oh, perfect. Sorry. That's the one thing I was wondering. All
No
right.
worries. All
Now
right.
we're ending. All right. See you guys
Bye.
in a few weeks. Bye.